JerseyMade93 here, and this is episode 2 of the Academy, which is a series focused on teaching the game of basketball through 2K. And today's episode will focus on the 4-out 1-in offense. We'll look at how the freelance functions, how to trigger action consistently, and some examples of using it online. So hit that like button and subscribe. So what does 4-out 1-in mean? 4-out means 4 players on perimeter or outside the arc, and those 4 players will be comprised of your backcourt, the point guard and the shooting guard, your small forward and power forward. And 1 player will be inside the arc or in the paint. Now, some might ask, why run this when the 5-out is the meta? 5-out being all 5 offensive players will be on the perimeter, including your center. This can be super inefficient if you have a center that can't shoot threes and he has offensive rebounding badges. While the 4-out 1-in keeps him in the paint and his teammates on the perimeter so he can quickly pass out in case a double team arrives in the low post and get those offensive rebounds. Now that's out the way, let's actually talk about running the freelance. If you are new to using plays in 2K or you don't really understand the freelance system, you should know that the formation of the freelance set will always be maintained. And that means that there will always be 4 players on the perimeter and 1 player inside. Even if we give the basketball to Bagley on the perimeter, as you see right here, Kuzma now becomes the inside offensive player. The second thing you should understand with any freelance is the key to triggering action is passing the basketball. Don't throw passes randomly or too fast, as that will slow your offense down because your AI teammates will have to figure out what you're trying to do with the basketball. When you understand location and making timely passes, this will drastically speed up your offense. But when you are constantly moving around and breaking the formation, it's harder for your AI teammates to trigger anything due to you playing outside of the offense. I will show you what's possible in this freelance in terms of plays, but this freelance is actually meant for teams that rely heavily on ball screens, scoring from the wing in isolations, as well as corner threes. You'll notice the window the CPU will allow you to have to call ISOs or screens when you pass the basketball. And if you don't call anything while you're standing still with the basketball, a play will be called for you. Now, I want to show you guys an example of me using this freelance online to score. One of the first ways I love to use the 4-out 1-in is to attack off-ball defenders. You'll see here how being on the wing, my teammates already have the floor space for basically a 2-man game between Book and KD. KD is the 1-in, so everyone else is on the perimeter. I know I can attack middle and draw the defense, and you'll also see an opportunity for an alley-oop or the chance to swing the basketball around since they're collapsing on KD for an open 3 for one of my other teammates. Now, the next example of the 4-out 1-in is using its non-play art action. So D-Book can dive immediately after this initial pass to the wing, and you have a built-in give and go. Here are a few examples of this from earlier in the game. But instead, the AI Booker will cut to the corner after walking Luka down. Luka is basically getting screened by KD here, and it's an open 3. One of the major keys I will always try to teach you guys is do not rely solely on the play art. There are a lot of opportunities that 2K will give you. You just have to be open to seeing it. If you rely solely on your play art, or if you're somebody that is too strict with running just your play art, you are going to miss a lot of opportunities and your offense isn't going to be as dynamic and fluid. In this play, I'm going to let the built-in screen get me to the middle, and if you can get to the middle, you can destroy any defense. I have the possibility to pass it back out for an open 3 after the screen, but instead, I'll take the midi because I want to keep Devin Booker's green machine activated as the quarter ends. But just to show you that this freelance is meant for screen and rolls, you see nobody is on the strong side or nobody's on the right side. Everybody's loaded up on the weak side or the left side of the court. And this just clears out for Booker to just take the screen and just be able to rise up and shoot this fade in 3. So let's see what happens now that I've activated this green machine pretty easily because of this freelance with Devin Booker. Okay, now we have to talk about freelance plays. Freelance plays or freelance actions are actions that are triggered within the freelance when you pass the basketball. Now, a lot of people who are not familiar with their freelances, they're not going to understand that these actions are actions that you could trigger on command, just like a regular play call. To learn how to trigger actions in a freelance, pay attention to the formation. So Avia is going to be at the top of the key, and then we're going to swing it over to Jordan Poole at the wing, and then we get this weak side screen, and this is going to trigger this screen on the strong side, and then now we can attack the middle. And this could be repeated whenever you want it. So these are not random sequences. To know how to do these things, again, all you have to do is pass the basketball and pay attention to the formation. So if I want to trigger that, I know I have to be in the middle, and then I have to pass to the right to the point guard for that to happen. So this is a great example of me using this online because I know how to trigger the action. He's in the zone. This is the first time he ran zone all game. So I wasn't prepared to go into my 2-3 zone freelance. I don't have enough time. But you see, I'm going to use the freelance action. I know how to trigger to swing the basketball around, which weakens the zone, and get an open three. So the trigger action in the 4-out-1-in freelance, you want to be at the wing, where you want to pass the basketball to the wing. That is where your action is going to start triggering. If you pass to the corner, you'll have to pass it back to the wing, and that will trigger a different set. But this is where most of your action is going to come from if you are running the 4-out-1-in. Now, obviously, I just said that, you know, passing it to the wing, you will initiate those plays, those little cross screens that free you up so that you can get a shot at the top of the key. But if you pass to the corner, you will get a pin down. And for the Washington Wizards, this pin down is going to go towards Jordan Poole. So all we have to do is swing the basketball to the corner, and you see I'm not going to hold it. I want to swing it right back. And then we're going to have Kuzma coming off the screen, and then have Bagley step up to the elbow, and then we're going to go into this curl wraparound pin down. I don't even know if that's the actual term for this action, but I know it's a pin down with a little wraparound for Poole. It's probably a curl or something like that. But yeah, I think that a lot of times when people are running their freelances, they don't have this type of fluidity. And if you are trying to practice and get better at running your freelances, this is what you should aim for. You should see that this is not really an offense that is standing still or standing around. It's very fluid. I'm getting a shot within the flow of the offense, which is something that is really underrated in basketball, not just 2K, but just basketball in general. If you are new to just playing basketball or the sport, that is something that you want to do. You want to try to always get a shot that just develops naturally. And as you see right here, same thing. Swing it to the corner, but we get an alley-oop this time. And again, when you know how your freelancers run, the fluidity at which it runs, the speed at which it runs, it's a lot faster. And then again, you can make these quick reads because Bagley's going to be in the dunker spot, and we're going to be able to get a nice alley-oop. So this is just some of the basic ways that you can use the 4-out-1-in freelance. So I want to show you guys how to utilize a post in this freelance, because this is not just a simple pick and fade, you know, off ball screens. You can also use this to set up a couple things out of the post. So what we're going to do is we're going to swing the basketball to the corner, and then we're going to dump it down low, and then you're going to see two teammates cut to the opposite side or the weak side. And then once that happens, you can utilize either the mismatch by going and trying to score, or you can utilize a two-man game, as you see right here. For me, this is a really good way for you to mix up how you're attacking and how you're scoring against the defense, because the two-man game is going to be really quick. As soon as you pass the basketball out, you either want to call for a pick and roll or pick and fade. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about is calling ISOs in this freelance. So top of the key is not necessarily going to be the best place to call for ISO here. The reason being is because, of course, we have the big man down low, and if you are forced to that direction, now you're going into traffic, and you can't really throw the ball out or kick it out unless one of the perimeter defenders gambles on trying to go for a steal. The other thing too is when you are trying to attack at the top of the key, that is more so where you want to try to go for like a step back or some type of midi. I really wouldn't advise trying to run unless you're going opposite of where the center is or the one end is. Hopefully this video helped you guys learn some of the more basic concepts or basic ways you can use the 4-out-1-in freelance. Again, I was trying not to give you guys a little bit too much because I know this is my first video doing plays, freelances, things like that, and I wanted to make sure that I could give you guys the right amount of information, the stuff that you can use immediately. There is a lot of stuff that you have to go into the game and practice yourself, like the dynamic reads. That's something that I really can't really show you because that's based off of how the defense is playing you, and there are additional advanced play calling things that I like to do that, you know, again, it would be too much for one video. So Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you want more of these type of videos with play calling, freelances, things like that, let me know in the comment section below. I'm Jersey 93. Peace.